Hello, just wanted to share a short of our Torah and some chizuk before Shabbos. As we know, it's already come. I can't believe it's already going to be the third Shabbos out of shul, not together in isolation. It's difficult, and at first there was something special in davening your own pace and something unique, but now it's wearing everyone down. Everybody's finding it difficult. But it's Shabbos Hagodol, and I think this year has a different meaning, the Shabbos Hagodol. That Shabbos Hagodol means we're going to make it big. It's going to be difficult. We're going to make the Shabbos great, even though it's difficult for us. It's difficult. We've got opportunities to learn on WhatsApp messages and Zoom and Skype, but it's not the same thing. We know that. But Chazal say, Lefum Sara Agra, the more according to the pain is the reward. We know it's difficult, and they're ready in the Haftarah and Shabbos Hagodol. Talks about somebody who's an Oved Elokim, somebody who's not an Oved Elokim, and this is really now the test to separate the men from the boys, because this is really it's tough. There's distractions at home. It's hard to daven. It's hard to keep focused, and we're missing each other. We're human beings. We need each other. We're social creatures. We're a klal. We're a kiz We're a community. We need each other. And it's kicking, it's tough. So let's try and strengthen ourselves together. I saw a beautiful idea from the Noam Elimelech on this week's Parsha, which should give us a chizuk in both Torah, Limud Torah, and also in our tefillah. Let's share that together with you. But I'd like to give an introduction first from a beautiful idea from Rabbi Yoel of Satmar's Chusar Yugal Aleinu, that Rabbi Yoel once said, it's interesting that, on Rosh Hashanah we go to Tashlich. 6 months ago we went, almost 6 months, 6 months ago we did Tashlich on Rosh Hashanah, and we threw our Averas, went into the water and symbolistic, threw Averas into the water. What happens to those Averas once they're thrown in the water? Because 6 months later we come back to that water and we take out Mayim Shalonu, the water, and we take the water and we put it into matzah, and we eat those matzahs on Leil Pesach. So what's this symbolize? Taking the Averas, put them into the water, then taking out the water and putting it into our matzahs. And he said the idea is, we know for the Gemara says in Yuma on page Pei-Vav 86, the Gemara says that we know that Teshuvah is so great, a person does Teshuvah, that he's Averas which he did b'mezid, even intentionally, can be turned into zuchuyos, as mitzvahs, as merits for him, those terrible Averas, but even though done intentionally. And the Gemara says, but how can that be? Well, sure, we learned in a brisa that a person does teshuvah, that on his Averas they come like a shogeg, the one's intentional sins become like unintentional Averas. What happens? So the Gemara, no, it depends. The first statement, when they turn into zuchuyos, when do sins, Averas, get turned into merits? That's when a person does teshuvah out of love, out of ava. But if a person does teshuvah out of awe, out of fear, then it doesn't quite make the mark that it becomes a zuchus. But if it still has an effect, those intentional Averas which were done by Mezid now become considered a lower level of Avera. They're considered kushgogos, like sins done unintentionally. And the Noam Melech says it would seem to be that it would make sense that we should do teshuvah. Now we know that teshuvah from Ava turns our Averas into mitzvahs, into merits. Surely we should do teshuvah from Ava. How can it be? Why do we need the stepping process? So he says, but of course we see it's obvious that it's impossible to do teshuvah immediately from Ava. A person, we know, avodas Hashem's like a ladder. We've got to do it step by step. First, yira, fear, the lowest levels of fear of punishment, fear of Gehenna, and eventually build up to the levels of awe, of reverence for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And only then can we come to the level of ahava. But first, then that's what the Gemara means. First, we need to do teshuvah from yira, and then teshuvah malva. And says, we'll add in here, this is what Rabbi Yoel of Satmar says, that on Rosh Hashanah we do teshuvah. It's the Yemei Din. We do teshuvah we go to throw our Averas into the river. That's Tashlich. That was out of awe, out of Amos Hadin. But then 6 months later we come back. Out going through 6 months of the year, we come back to Gosh Baruch and we're so grateful. Even the most challenging times that we're facing, if we look at the brachas that we have during these times, and we go in and we do teshuvah out of ava, then we can take that water now, those averas, and we elevate to stage 2 from shgogos, from accidental sins, to zchuyos, until merits. And he says here, he gives a beautiful explanation. This is the difference between the first paragraph of the Shema and the second paragraph of the Shema. In the first paragraph it says, you love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol moedecha. But in the second paragraph it says, only v'chol levavchem, v'chol nafshechem. Why in the second paragraph does it skip it out? And he has a whole long piece. We don't have time for it all now. But in summary, he says the first paragraph, he's talking about tefillah. He's talking about an individual who's davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chol levavcha, with all his heart is tefillah, avodah shabalev. And when a person davens, although we think about the heart to be the emotion and love, he says no, the first steps in tefillah is to know who before you're standing, to know we're standing in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to have eima, to have reverence before whom we're standing. The Melech Malchei Amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we stand there, we prepare a few moments before we walk in, just like the halacha says before you walk into shul, that you should take a few moments before you start to daven. You should stop walking slowly. And my son Shammai recommended before I daven at home that we go for a walk before I daven, just so to get my mind Yeshiva Das, and walk in slowly, ready into the dining room before I daven. And it helps. Try it. So that's the first level. Cholavavcha is with fear, of eima, before whom we're standing. V'chol nafshcha, with all your soul. The greatest thing he says you can do to your soul is done with that's tefillah with kavona. It's the greatest chesed you can do. That's first is tefillah, and then tefillah with concentration, with dedication. It's difficult now, but to work on that, even a small amount of tefillah, take each day one bracha that we're going to try and focus on, and to dan the v'chol, and then v'chol moedecha. That's with all your might, with all your energy, you express your feelings of ava and passion and love to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the second paragraph, he says, he's not talking about tefillah. V'haya im shemoya tishma, if you will listen. According to the Gemara in Sukkah, it says that Naomi Melech is talking about Mem Vav Omer Base 46b. He's talking about Torah. If a person listens, if a person learns Torah, even if he learns Shalol Shmo, even if he learns it feels it's old and it's repetitious, it's habitual, then Hayon Shemoya Tishmu, then eventually he'll come to a stage he'll be fresh and new for him again. That's the power of Torah. And a person learns Torah, even Shalol Shmo, even for ulterior motives, then eventually he'll come to the Shema, and eventually he'll come to a level of there's a geshmaka, a simcha, a joy, a passion, a ava, a love. So he says that's the difference. In the second paragraph it says you should love Hashem b'chol levavchem uv'chol nafshechem. And that when that's learning Torah, that is learning Torah Shloshma and then Lishma. And automatically a person is at a stage of Ava. But tefillah, you need to take it up yourself. First there needs to be know who before you're standing, fear. And then needs to be concentration. And only then actively you have to move it yourself to Ava. But Torah says no. Torah automatically lifts a person to a place. Torah's got something, a magic about it that lifts a person to a great feeling of love and closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As the Rambam says, one of the ways to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the depth and the beauty of the wonderful Torah. And now we've got time. We should have more time now to learn. It's difficult. Maybe with the children around us, more distractions around us. It's not the same, but we do have the opportunity. More, there's less pressures now than before to try and connect him with Torah, to try and utilize the Torah that we can. And he says that that's the difference between the Shema, the first paragraph, and the second paragraph, which is talking about Torah. Torah's got something magical. And with that, we'll finish off, we'll conclude, says No Melech, into the Parsha. At the beginning of the Parsha, in the second Pasuk, it says, Zois Torah Sa'oila. This is the Torah Oila. This is the concept of Torah. Torah is Oila. Torah elevates a person. Here, Oila, the Torah of a person learns, and a person focuses, the person's dedicated to Torah. Lufum Sarah Agra, a person learns even though it's difficult, and his mind, and he's distracted, and he's worried about pranosa. Here oila al mukta. Torah, he can elevate him higher than the mukta al mizbeach, higher than the mizbeach, because the mizbeach only atones for korbanos, for specific sins. Each korban is a kapora for specific avera. But Torah elevates completely al hamizbeach, even higher, completely elevates a person, because through Torah has such a geschmack, such simcha by learning Torah, that he is in a level of avos Hashem. And such a person, once he learns Torah and he's full of passion, ve'eish hamizbeach tukad boy, the fire of that mizbeach, he is like a fire mizbeach. He's constantly burning. When he's learning the Torah, he's ignited. And then he has an incredible power. He says to Noam Melech that a person, once he's elevated himself through Torah, and there's a level of avos Hashem, a loving Hashem, and he's had received atonement for all his affairs, more than the Korbanos, now he can start working on himself. The Pasuk Gimel says, at the beginning it said, V'lovash HaKohen, he's now like a Kohen, like a high priest, and he's enveloped in the garments, Midoi Vad, and he says Midoi stands for Midas, and Vad stands for Hispoidatus. A person now at such a level, he can focus on his Midas. Once he's such a level of fire and passion through Torah, he can focus on working on the different layers, different Midas, but by being in isolation through contemplation. Umichnesei Vad, he also can focus on the layers through this bad again of isolation. Yilbash al basaro, you can look at the garments of the flesh, all the yetzaras of lust of the flesh. He can even purify them when he's in the moment of isolation. Veherim esadeshen asher toichel esa eish. He says, the Noam Melech, it's impossible, we know, to completely cleanse ourselves, the midas, a human being, all at once. But we know we can't break the midas, but we can elevate them. For example, he says a person's got a bad temper, a person's angry to a person, he can't get rid of anger, but he should be angry at Rashoyim, angry at people who don't see the MS, who can't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world, for example. So he says of such a person, he can he takes the ashes of those bad midas, of those garments, which have been consumed by that fire of passion of Torah and excitement and love and dedication to his learning. Esa oila al mizbeach, and he can elevate those midas higher than the mizbeach. For some mizbeach, now these bad midas get placed next to the mizbeach because they've been elevated, as they've been redirected for something positive. And Pasuk Dalud, Poshat Es Bagodov, then after that, as he moves on to the next midah, one midah at a time, he's Poshet, he takes off that garment of that negative midah and he's elevated to something positive. V'lovash Bagodim Machirim, and he now he's encloaked in the new beggar, the new midah he can work in. And it does the same thing again, and he takes those ashes through work himself, and that's all through the power of tefillah. But even more so the power of Torah, where a person learns Torah with their dedication, when he's got a headache, when he's not motivated, to spend a few minutes to listen to a shir. When you're listening to a shir, take notes that you can write down. You have a whole notebook by the end of this for the shiurim you listen to, rather just listen. Even the videos and the podcasts going around, make notes, put them down, make a notebook of all the Torah that you've learned during this time. Each person themselves, whether it's daf yom kippur, self-motivate, do another chazorah of the daf. Whatever person's learning, whether it's an English book, whether it's stories, whether he's learning of chizuk. I saw in the Rambam today, a person should make sure that for his health, he should make sure he's happy. One of the most important things, to say stories, to say jokes, to listen to music. These are all important parts of Avodas Hashem. And through that, all starting through the dedication to Torah, Shabbos Hagodol, an opportunity. There's no Shabbos Hagodol drasha this week. The Rav's not giving the Shabbos Hagodol drasha. You know who's giving the Shabbos Hagodol drasha this week? You're giving your Shabbos Hagodol drasha. You're learning to make the Shabbos Godol, to make it great. And through those levels and that dedication to elevate a person, to inspire ourselves, to ignite ourselves, through that ava, that love and passion, then we're able to even work and purify each layer of the negative midas inside us, to strip those off and elevate them, put them next to Mizbeach, as the Pasuk says, al mokum tahor, to a pure place. And may we all be zoicha through the Shabbos Hagodol to what it says in the Shabbos Hagodol Haftarah, which is read by the Rav normally, is the minhag to finish off. V'heishiv leiv avos al bonim leiv abonim al avos. May we all help each other to tshuva. The hearts of the fathers return to children, the hearts of the children return upon the fathers. We should all do true teshuva, to take that water we threw in at Tashlich, out of awe and reverence of fear was going to be, and now of Ava, to praise Hashem, that we are well. Those of us who are healthy are well, should continue to be healthy and well. Those of us who have been unwell, Baruch Hashem, have recovered or are recovering, should be able to help other people get better and be helped and be a source of chesed. Only through Torah and chesed are we going to be zoich, as the Haftarah finishes. Hinei anochi sholech lachem. Behold, I will send for you as Eliyahu Novi, Eliyahu himself, Lifnei Ba Yom Hashem Hagodol Vanara. So we wait that great Godol, that Yom Hagodol, that great day, that awesome day of Bias HaMashiach B'Meir Yemenu. Amen. Have a wonderful Shabbos Hagodol. Shabbat Shalom.